So, what does a modern, high-impact designer really look like? Today, we're going to take a look at a profile that might just be the blueprint. This is Linda Lin, and her work is pretty much a masterclass in how you blend creativity with, cold, hard results. And really, she says it best herself. This isn't just about making things look good. The keywords here, enterprise level, usability, and scalability. It's all about building these super robust systems that actually work for huge organizations and, well, can grow right along with them. Yeah, this really frames her as a whole new breed of designer, right? Someone who isn't just stuck in one little box, but actually merges several disciplines to create some incredible value. You could almost call it the hybrid professional. She's working right at that sweet spot where user experience, data analytics, and product management all meet. And that mix, that's what lets her not just design a cool feature, but to really get its business impact, measure how it's doing, and manage it like a product. And with 7 years in the game, she's gotten really, really good at taking what are often super complex, kind of messy business needs and just translating them into clean, user-focused results. That experience? Yeah, that's absolutely key. Okay, so what does this whole hybrid approach actually look like in the real world? Well, it all boils down to one thing, data. Let's dig into how she takes this from just theory to, real measurable impact. All right, let's take her work on the Synology video tutorial site redesign. On the surface, it sounds simple, right? Just sprucing up a video library. But the results? Hoo boy, they were anything but simple. So what was the result? Get this, a 130 times increase in organic traffic. No, that is not a typo. We're talking about a massive wave of new users finding the site through search engines, and it was all driven by a smarter, data-informed redesign. And hey, if you thought that number was wild, check this one out. An increase in video clicks of over 17,000%. I mean, come on, that's not just an improvement, that is a complete transformation of how people were engaging with the site. So, the big question is, how on earth did she pull this off? Well, it was this super smart 4-part process. First, she dove deep with usability testing, talking to international users. Then, she simplified some really complex backend stuff and added intuitive filters and search. But the real secret sauce? That was the final step, setting up this release, observe, and iterate cycle using tools like Google Analytics. This created a constant feedback loop, basically turning user data directly into better and better design. Okay, those numbers are incredible for a business, for sure. But how does this kind of thinking affect everyday people? Let's look at how she applies these same skills to these huge public-facing projects. Take the Taipei Metro app, for example. She led this whole process from start to finish. It all began right there on the ground, with street interviews and surveys. That research led to prototypes with 8 key features. And then, after launching to over 2 million users, the result was crystal clear, a nearly 16% jump in positive reviews. And what does that look like in the end? A 4.4-star rating in the App Store. I mean, that's the ultimate validation, isn't it? It's coming straight from the people she was designing for. It's just a huge signal that her user-centered process really, really worked. So, impacting the public is one thing. But what about navigating the insane complexity of a massive global company? Well, her work there is just as impressive. Yeah, her impact at the enterprise level is all about scale. Just think about this for a second. Leading the user experience for over 120 projects a year. That's like launching a new project every 3 days, and all while coordinating with 6 global subsidiaries and over 100 colleagues around the world. This is all about creating systems that can handle that kind of complexity and still deliver results. Boosting internal engagement and keeping stakeholders happy. So, where did all this expertise come from? It didn't just appear out of nowhere. Let's take a quick look back at the journey that built this really impressive skill set. Her path shows this really clear pattern, right? It starts with a solid foundation in industrial design, then she gets early recognition for some creative AR projects. And there's this consistent drive to compete. I mean, a top finish in a major hackathon proves that. You can see how each step builds on the last, all leading up to her current master's program at the University of Texas at Austin, where she's just digging in to deepen her expertise even more. And it's also really important to point out that her potential was spotted early on. She earned a prestigious $50,000 scholarship from Taiwan's Ministry of Education to study in the U.S. That's a huge deal, an award that only goes to a very select few. And this journey is far from over. By going for her master's at UT Austin, she's making a very deliberate choice to get even better at human-centered design and product analytics. And those are the exact skills needed to solve the next generation of really complex digital challenges. And that really brings us to the final and maybe most important question. When you have someone with a proven track record of turning complexity into clarity, of delivering these massive, measurable results, you just have to ask, what big, complex problem is she going to solve next?